Hi and welcome to GamerzDownunder. This is our podcast. I am Laman.
Steve.
Steve is here. Steve is in the house. Okay, we just lost about 30 viewers there. That's good. What episode are we up to, Steve?
22.
22.
Hang on, what do they do in bingo? 22, got a dirty shoe. No, I don't know.
I was going to say it was like 11, legs 11. I know they do that one. I don't know anything higher than that. I'm done.
69, dinner for
You'll
two.
be fine. Wow.
All right. And we just lost the last 30 listeners.
Yep. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us for another episode. So we're going to start off the episode like we always do. We're talking about gaming and basically what gaming we've been doing this week. So I'm going to let Steve go first.
Is that because I've got the least to talk about?
Yes.
Well, all right. I don't even want to admit 3 of the games that I played this week.
I can't wait. EA for life.
Oh,
Get in the game.
Yeah. No. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Yeah, okay.
There's one, obviously, FIFA 19, playing with the young fella. Was told that I'm not allowed to play Crash Bandicoot with him anymore because PlayStation is supposed to be quiet time, and he can take it pretty seriously when he's having a game. So yeah, the missus busted us. I was nearly telling him what I get up to at night time with his mum. We were that heated.
It's still going from the previous podcast.
Still going.
Oh God.
And so she put a ban to that. So we. Then I don't know. Not a ban to the adult coitus, a ban to me mocking her son about it, of course.
Oh.
But that has then brought on how old is he? 7, maybe close to 8. 8 years old next year, so in a couple of months. He's actually very good at Need for Speed. Car racing games, he's very good at. The soccer games, I don't want to say not so much because he's better than me at it, but he plays profusely.
But really, if we think about it, how many sporting games do we actually, both of us, play?
Oh, and that's what I mean. Like, literally, I've probably played 5 games of FIFA in all of humanity's existence, and he would play 5 games a day without fail. So for me to play him in a full match, and last night's match, he was Madrid. Or he won't play Australia. They're too crap. He wants to play the best team. So he's the Madrids and the Barcelonas and all this. Apparently, I have no clue. I always mock him. There's one called Ronaldo or something, and I always Ronaldo or something. I always chuck in a couple of extra syllables, so I'll be like, "Go Ronaldinho," and he just blows up. He hits the roof. It's not and so then it's on again. So I just yell, "Mom, come smack Azzy!" And she's like, "Don't stop it, you two," because she's obviously got 2 sons at that point.
I think like every other wife, but that's okay.
Yes. So I played, obviously, everyone, this is my first game of the week, FIFA 19. I was Australia. He was, I don't think he was Real Madrid. It was one of them. Like my average score is 67. His average score is something like 91. So it's pretty much the best possible team in the whole entire game playing a very subpar team. And you can tell, like when I'm running in a straight line, his team is slowly catching up to me. So I've got to pass the ball a lot more. And the problem with the passing the ball, then my guys get tired. And when they get overtired, they get injured. And yeah, it just keeps going and going. The problem being, I'm a pass the ball, a through pass the ball, a cross, and a kick. That's all I've got. I got them 4 in my repertoire. If it takes any more than 4 to win, I lose. So last night, he's pulling out all these tricky moves. and he cops yellow cards and red cards. He is a knee tackling little grub. He just slide tackles me. He slide tackles me left, right, and center. He doesn't care. And because I don't know how to take the penalty kicks and everything, he doesn't blink an eye at causing that trouble. So ended up. I'm gonna come back to it. I wanted to talk about the dynamics and everything in FIFA games as such.
Well, I was thinking then, I'm like, what's the difference between FIFA 19 and 15, FIFA 18?
And that's
FIFA
what
17.
I want to talk about that, but only because maybe from in the news bit, or maybe whatever. One of our listeners brought it up the other day, and I was having Kurt is his name. I still remember it. I'm calling you out, Kurt, because he didn't share my opinion of FIFA. But I'll come back to that.
So we had Kurt listening, and now he's gone. Thanks, Kurt.
He's gone. See you, Kurt. Game 2 of the week. Idle Tap Wizard. You
don't even need to say anymore.
I'm looking downwards when I mention this.
It's
not even Switch. It's a mobile game.
Oh.
It is just a little addictive thing. You just literally tap on the screen. It's like, how did I just spend an hour? I know why, because it's right there. Like, I really need to start just carrying my Switch around, because the gameplay on the Switch far exceeds the mobile, but the easeability of the mobile being in your hand, it's just like, boom, it's right there, you know what I mean? I find it so difficult admittedly, you can tell when I'm doing a lot more PC gaming and console gaming, because at the end of the week, my phone will give me a report of screen time, how long I've stared at the screen. And it actually dropped.
I hate that report when I see it. I see Facebook. It's the top thing, and I'm like,
Well, mine dropped by 33%. The whole screen time dropped by 33% in a week. It went from 8 hours down to 5 hours when I started playing World of Warcraft. Because instead of spending my spare time just trolling through Facebook, I was on World of Warcraft. So you can tell when I'm playing a worthy game, because that's what takes up my time. But I'm not even Idle Tap Wizard. I like some of them little games. There is one Kairosoft or something they're called. I always buy their games. They're just a funny little. I think it's Kairosoft. Kairosoft from memory. They're just a funny little, like, yeah, hard to explain, but it's sort of like a Sims. The easiest way is sort of like a Sims game for mobile.
And how much have you paid for it so far?
On Idle Tap Wizard, it's free.
Yeah. Oh, there's no in-game purchases?
Oh, undoubtedly there would be. Like, you can buy crystals.
So why haven't you bought it?
Nah, no way. There are some games that I will buy.
If I like a mobile game, I'll pay money for it.
Yes.
Because I really hate having to wait 30 minutes to complete one thing on the game.
That is I'll talk about that after the third game. Drum roll, please. Let's paint a picture. I'm 6 foot, 90 kilos, absolutely covered in tattoos. I have a tradesman's build. I have trained and fought professionally over in Thailand. Was ranked in the top 3 in Queensland for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I was playing horse stables.
How you going, man? How you feeling?
I'll show you just a quick little picture on my phone of what it actually sorry, I apologize, not horse stables. If you can see.
My horse stories.
Oh my
God, people. You need to get amongst it, because if Admin Steve says it's fantastic, it looks shocking.
This is it. So it is.
So it's got red diamonds, it's got gold, and it's got, what's the other one?
It's got diamonds, gold, and stamina.
Okay. And the stamina one, that you'd be run out heaps.
You use 20 stamina per race, and you've got 60 stamina. So you can only do 3 races, which the races take maximum of 20 seconds and then you're done. So that's the hardest part of the whole entire thing is,
I'd love to see you on a work site, mate, getting out my horse stories.
oh no, because what it is, my daughters love it. They've been playing.
Now he's making the excuse.
And it's
now
my daughters. Even though it's on my daughters. But I wanted to talk about how toxic this game. All you do, you've got a stable where your horse is. This my little Sheila, because you can't even actually change it to a guy. She's just literally leaning on a box, and I can.
Well, that's always how you like them.
Exactly. And look at this. I just clicked to go to a race. Boom, an ad. It has to be the most toxic ad game I have ever seen in my life. I understand if this game was free and it didn't have so many in-store app purchases, done. Run the ads. Get your revenue some way. But they are double dipping. They're wanting people to buy. Like, I can now see how toxic it is against children. Like, my daughters both downloaded it onto their iPads.
But just think about it as well. Like, you're saying it's your children. So you said they've both got it on their iPads, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, your children are a little bit older, but if it was younger children, they're just pressing buttons. They don't know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Like, I see it on even YouTube, and that if I put it on for my daughter, the same sort of deal with the ads coming up. I don't have ads on YouTube anymore because I pay the premium to get rid of the ads. And I'd prefer that even in the games. Like, let me pay something to them a month. I don't care. Get rid of the ads. The ads are crap.
Yep. And that's been, like, I've started my game, so then when I ring them when they're at their mum's place, I've got something to talk to them about, and I can be like, oh, I'm whatever level, blah blah blah. They're not allowed to play games when they're at their mum's. She's not a gamer, so I can play for them. I have 500 gems and I'm level 7. They are level 10. The youngest one's 10, the other one's level 12. They've got no gems left, because every single building upgrade takes 20 minutes. So, boom, you spend your gem. Every time you want water, boom, you spend your gem. And then all of a sudden, it actually, and because it only takes, like right now I'm building 8 crops. That's 8 gems. So it's 1 gem per crop. Imagine to get rid of all 500 gems, you've gotten these kids into that psychometric side of things where they're very addicted to using the gems to speed the process up. And then all of a sudden it runs dry. Where's the store on this? Here we go. For special for the next 15 hours, the starter pack special, you get 20 stamina. It's 20 stamina per race. So you get 1 race, you get 20 gems. So that's only 20 bits of grain, 550 gold. You get 100 gold per race. So that's 5 races worth of gold for $5. That's a starter pack down 50% cheaper. Normally that would cost you $10 for 5 races worth of gold and 1 race.
That's where I get kind of angry where it says sale. If it's not a sale, don't put the word sale there. Because 9 times out of 10, you can come back in 6 months, that sale's still going on. Well, is it still a sale, or is that the actual price and you're just putting sale there?
And that's why, like, this is the starter sale. So normally they offer that to the people in the first week, and then it just changes to a something other sale. It's all exactly the same.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, I see that in jewelry shops and that. And it's just like, don't bother putting a sale up. We'll come in if we want to buy jewelry or games. Unless it is a sale where you can actually make good purchases, don't bother putting sale up. It's not a sale.
That's the problem. Sales they're not what like they used to be. You used to get a proper good sale and you could actually save and make a good amount of money. Nowadays it feels like it's just, oh well, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, and just for how toxic the microtransactions are in a game that is purely designed for young girls, it's terrible. And like even my daughters are like, why do I have to wait 20 minutes until I can do that? Why? Like you get 1 energy every 2 minutes, I think it is. Maybe it's 1 energy every minute. It takes 20 energy to do a race. So all of a sudden, it's taking you 20 minutes per race of waiting, and that's the problem. Is, well, what are we going to do? Like, that's are we going to wait?
Society as well. Like, we are looking for more convenience.
Yes.
Something's easier and quicker. Well, that's the way of the world now. We all want quicker, faster, better things than what we've currently got. ADSL 1, Australian government, is not acceptable in the 21st century. Just put that one out there again. But we all do want something quicker, and we will pay for it as well. Clearly, because all these games have microtransactions.
Yes, and that's And that is the hard part about the microtransactions. And like for me, I know it's a game. I'm like, whatever. I'll just play the game for what it is, and then we will move on, and we won't worry about playing any other. Like, but I won't pay any money for that game. But I understand how parents fall into that trap, because the look on my daughter's eyes when I do a race for them, and they're sitting at 19 energy, they just need one more, and then it's bedtime. They're like, please, Dad, please. You're like, no, you can wait, and you're pushing off bedtime. I am a bit more of a stricter parent, so it's like, no, you can just play with it tomorrow. But I can see, like, I actually snuck back into my daughter's room, and I was like, hey, Lally, Daddy done that race for you. He got first, so you got another bit of timber, so your silo's building. And you should have seen the look on her face. Like, that was new age God status. Like, remember when you were growing up, before that time when you realised that you could probably beat your dad in an arm wrestle or a run and race, and you still looked up to them like they were gods. When we were growing up was more outside activities. Computer games, all that kind of stuff wasn't really around. So it's like when Dad snagged the fish, and when he climb that tree to get your football down, all that kind of stuff. That's what this is. That's what, for me, for the new age gaming dad, I feel like that's what it is. When they're trying to play a game, they're like, Dad, and I come around the corner, they're like, please, boom, blitz it, and they're like, damn, he's good, and then I just walk off like, yeah, buddy. You just see in their face
how little they know.
Exactly. Because I'm walking back into the room, back with their mother. The stuff we're getting up to. But and that's but I can truly see why parents, especially I'm saying single parents, because of the pressure that's put onto them by children and social, not social economics, but social pressure to be the parent and the good parent and blah blah blah. $1.99, just buy it, darling, and you just buy it and you pay for the money. And to the point where I want to actually ring Penguin Studios, get onto our listener Pierce and say, Pierce, let's make a game. Like, I know I'm working for them in the background. I'm writing a story. I'm hired as the main story writer of one of their RPGs, but it's going to be, I don't even know if we'll ever finish that game. That game is a monster. But I just want to say, let's just make a top-down, like, Jurassic Park shooter game. These days, you probably couldn't do that. You'd have to, how would you get your stamina and your all that kind of, you've ran out of bullets, buy more bullets for 99 cents. And like, I just want to, gaming when we were kids was just so difficult. Now that I'm replaying the bloody games, they're freaking hard, but it was honest, clean gaming. It had such reward to it, and I truthfully believe the way the world has gone, we're even ruining such a pure activity. But that's my rant about my games this week. What about you?
Oh, that was quick this week. That's good. I been playing No Man's Sky. I sound a bit defeated as I finished the storyline, and I'm going to leave it there. I finished the storyline.
So 3 years in the making. 3 years in the making.
What
do we think?
The game is good. The concept of the game is fantastic. The storyline, it's sort of... I'm trying to think of how to say it without spoiling anything. It's like a belief system.
Spoil it. It's been out for 3 years. Go for it.
We'll
put notes down. No Man's Sky spoiler. Done. Go.
Okay, so if you don't want to listen, fast forward about 30
Mr.
seconds.
Burns gets shot.
You can't ruin The Simpsons like that.
It was Maggie.
It was Maggie. You've ruined it now. No, okay. So the start of No Man's Sky, I'll just paint you a picture so you understand, Steve, because you don't know the game that well.
Yeah.
You're zooming in the galaxies and you go to your planet. And that's sort of like the entry. The entry sort of cinematics load screen. Well, the ending, you find out that this grand being has got 16 minutes left. But that 16 minutes has got nothing to do with your 16 minutes concept. So it's got 16 minutes left of life in its time frame. So it's a different time frame to ours. So, and what it keeps doing, it creates anomalies, and you're the anomaly, and then you can reset the system, and it keeps a vicious cycle. So, basically, in a nutshell, all you're doing is you're resetting the big machine, and then you zoom out of the galaxy, and you're seeing all the stars and all that, and it looks really pretty. You're like, wow. And then it loads up again, and you're crashed on a planet. Your ship is destroyed. Well, not destroyed, but you've got to repair everything on your ship and on your gun thing. And that's it. Da-da-da-da. Like, I was so frustrated because I'm like, I was expecting, like, the story is okay. Not really much cinematics. So I think they just cut costs with that. Go, hey, we'll use the start and put it at the end and then just zoom out. But yeah.
Really?
Am I still playing the game? Because I like the concept of building the base and going around and killing pirates and destroying capital ships, and basically the online community on the PlayStation Network is quite good. They're not toxic. A lot of these guys are actually dedicated players. They've built like buildings that look like the pyramids in Egypt, the Sphinx, massive buildings. And because when they do screenshots with PlayStation Store, it actually has the location in the galaxy, so you can actually travel there and see it. And that's what I've been doing probably for the last little bit of the week, because I've been going to those places, putting it on the VR, and actually just looking at it. It looks like you're on a massive pyramid, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just massive gameplay. So
yeah.
So the game is great. They cheaped us out on the end. I've done probably about 150 hours, I think, now I've been playing. So just a couple of hours there, mate. Don't worry about the missus. She'll go back to sleep.
Sorry, mate. I've been keeping a company for you.
Well, I haven't checked any flights on Brisbane, so there's been nothing coming through on the credit card, so I know I'm safe.
150 hours. Jesus, I could go about 1,000 times, I reckon. What's 150 hours divided by 2 minutes?
I was going to say 30 seconds, mate. Don't give yourself credit. 2 minutes is taken off the clothes and put them back on. But anyway.
That's flying down.
Yeah, that's it. So that was it. I've also been playing. So I started playing Shadow of Mordor.
Ah, yeah.
All I can say, 4 words. Well, it's actually more than 4 words, but it's an acronym. So OMG. So, oh my God, I am a noob.
Really?
So I like the concept. I like the hack and slash, and you're blocking, and you got some ghost guy in your hand. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go hunt this guy down. I'm going to go kill him. And he pretty much uses me as a mop, and he gets upgraded, kills somebody else, and gets more powerful than ever. And I go back to the start. So that was at least 3 hours of getting my butt kicked. That's 3 hours I'm not going to get back. I like the game. It looks good. It just, I don't know. I'm just crap at playing it. So if anyone can help me play Shadow of Mordor, let me know what I'm doing wrong. But you know what? The one thing with it that does actually annoy me is you shoot someone with a bow and arrow in their head, they still come at you.
Really? I couldn't remember. Bow and arrow?
Yeah, so that was the one thing. Because if you get hit in real life in a bow and arrow, you're kind of not going to get up.
No way, I'd take it.
Can we try?
Yeah, sure.
I'll watch. Yeah, so that was it. Now see the last one I want to mention as well is nothing important that happens in Australia, but no little gaming convention like PAX on Sunday.
I heard there's something little on.
So mistake number 1, I probably should have booked prior and gone the whole 3 days. So that's probably the biggest regret. Mistake number 2.
Next year.
Yeah, definitely next year. Mistake number 2 was thinking, oh yeah, I can bring my 2-year-old. This is going to be fine. By myself. No missus to help me look after her. Look, she had a ball, and she was pushing people off their seats and running amok. She loved the retro section. So shout out to the retro section guys. They did a really good job with their arcades and old school games. That looked pretty cool. Set up. I was a bit disappointed with Nintendo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man, they had Link's Awakening. Been out for a month. Why would you be showing off Link's Awakening?
Are you sure it wasn't number 2?
There is no number 2 in Link's Awakening.
Oh, Link's Awakening. Sorry.
Yeah, no. You were thinking Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wind. No. Breath of the Wind. Zelda farted.
Yeah, you speak a lot of wind, mate.
Zelda farted under the blanket. She's trying to waft it. No wonder Link was asleep for 100 years.
Dutch oven. But yeah, so that was, like, I love it. The people were really friendly. They were really good. People were getting these pins. I haven't seen the pins before, but apparently they're a thing.
That's for the Pokemon?
No, not just Pokemon. There were a lot more. Yeah, no. Oh, where'd my PAX thing go? Oh, here. So you actually get the lanyard that you wear, and you have to wear that in there, so you look like a complete nerd. But yeah, I know. I bought it and I wore it the whole way even home because I'm cool. But they actually had all pins up and down the lanyards as well, and I'm like, So I think it's more of a collector thing. So every year they go and they just add on. And different providers will give you different pins. So there'd be probably a Nintendo. There was definitely a Nintendo one, the Pokemon ones that you said.
Say you played a certain game, you'd get that pin to prove that you played it.
Yeah. I don't know if they cost anything or if they just give them to you, but some of them they give them to you. Yeah.
Let's face it, I'd buy it.
One thing about PAX as well I was quite surprised with is how much people are spending.
Does it actually surprise you?
No, not really, considering how much I've spent in my day with gaming. But it's just like you're seeing these people, like they've already spent $70 to get in. Some of them have spent more than 70. I bought the 3-day pass. They're walking out with boxes.
Do you not remember the Final Fantasy we went to the other week? It was what, $200, $250 for a ticket. Then to fly down was another couple $100, and then you'd see people buying every single soundtrack, photo album, soft plush. Like the plush toys were $70, $80.
Because I was actually listening to people whinging, going, "Oh, I missed out on the plush toy." And I'm thinking, it's a plush toy. I don't like plush toys.
The funny thing was, EB Games, hashtag EB Games Australia, back our podcast. What was that?
That was a cheeky one, mate. What happened there?
Yeah, so EB Games had one of their big financial year sales on, and they actually had the 30-year anniversary Chocobo plush toy for 50% off. And I'd bought it not that long ago before that concert, so I got it for like $40 instead of buying it at the concert for $90 or something. So, yeah, sometimes it's not actually, and it's sometimes at them. Like I don't mind spending say $100 on special release things that is for that event. Like if you went to PAX. They had a Pikachu wearing a PAX outfit or wearing a PAX tag, or you know what I mean, with the date on it. Done. You'd buy it because you put it in your gaming room. It's a bit of memorabilia to say, oh, I remember that. I went to that. I was there. I took my daughter there. You've got photos of her and all that kind of stuff. But if it's just a Pikachu that you could buy down the road and that, you're like, oh, well, that's not very exclusive. Like, how am I going to remember?
I know they did do sort of sales in the EB store in PAX as well. I don't know how good they were because I couldn't actually get in there with Katarina. She was too busy in the retro section. We actually had to have a fight to get her out of the retro section. But yeah, like as I said, I reckon probably if people don't like crowds, Sunday would pretty much be the day to go because everyone else has gone there.
Because Saturday was sold out.
Yeah, but like on Sunday, you could literally just walk up. People were walking up and buying tickets.
Oh, really?
So that was the one thing. But again, and I think another thing to take back from going to PAX is you really need to have a look at their guides on their app or any event that you go to work out what you want to do and what you want to see.
Yeah.
So to purely just walk in there and go, oh, yeah, I'm going to experience PAX, and then you start walking around going, wow, there's so, like as soon as you walk through the door, like the main entrance, you got the Doom set up. It was thunder, lightning, smoke machines going off, lights everywhere. I shared it on the page, and then you walk straight through those doors, and then you're into an indie section. So it's all the indie developers.
Oh, really?
I couldn't stop at any of them. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, if you have the 3 days, you probably have more time to go and talk to all of them and see what new games are coming up or what's happening in the indie world, especially in Australia, which is good. I'm all for helping the indie developers.
Yeah, and I like the indie side of things. There's been a couple of indie games that have come out as of late. I think we talked about obviously the Duck one last week, an indie one. I know you're not a big fan of it, but it's funny.
Quack, 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 quack.
It's funny how a duck game made by 4 people overthrew some of the biggest AAA rated games of the week. So yeah.
No, that was pretty amazing, and that's really good for them. But yeah, it's just
not my game, not my cup of tea.
I was going to say cup of tea, but then you sound old, and I'm young, mate, and hip. Just a little bit no hair. That's it. But yeah, so that's probably the one big thing from PAX. If you don't like crowds, probably go on the Sunday. It will be less. Like, there still is a lot of people there, but it's a lot less intense. But they got really good at, like, it's amazing walking in there. You got the table games where they're playing, like, the actual board games set up. So you really can't go there for a couple of hours. That's the other thing. But yeah, no. And that was pretty much my week. Shadow of Mordor, I suck. No Man's Sky, disappointed, but still playing. And PAX, I should have gone to all 3 days and all day. And had someone looking after Katarina for me, so I could actually play the games and go around and talking to people.
I should have flown down. Next year it'll be on. We will hopefully be down there. This is for our listeners. We will hopefully be down at PAX next year. Maybe even try to get a booth set up or something so we can do some podcasting while we're down there. We'll be hopefully all 3 days, depending on the expenditure, I guess. I know a lot of companies are pulling out of places like that solely because they believe it's not putting back into the economy and back into the gamer anymore. They're paying exorbitant amount of money and it's all going to the already rich who owns the building and the council land and everything like that. So they aren't. It was very similar to Sony pulling out of E3.
Yeah, that's right. But I think as well, the world is changing. So you used to go to markets and to buy things. You don't go to the markets anymore. You go on Gumtree. You go on Facebook Marketplace. So a lot of it's changing, and Nintendo do their direct plays on YouTube. Now Sony are doing it, and Microsoft's doing it. So, yeah, so like Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation are all doing now live plays. So they don't have to have the expense of reaching out, setting it up, paying people to set it up, paying people to perform, and have those live events. That's where now sort of the esports is going instead of them. So I think it's swapping over.
Is the one thing that I don't like is when profit get in the way of community-based activities. Like, everything is so online now. You like, remember when we were kids, even literally the last time I had a proper gaming session, like just the boys came round, deep fried spring rolls and dim sims, had the pizza pockets going, drinking litres of cola till 4 a.m. I think the sun just started coming up by the time I looked around the room and I was the last survivor. Everyone had slowly fallen asleep. I was living up in Gladstone then, so that was 2012-ish, 2013. So actually I was PS4. So, but, actually we played Shadows of Mordor. That's what I actually fired it up to show my mates. We're playing Shadows of Mordor. Kurt was there, the one who I was mocking. He brought FIFA, so we quickly kicked him out.
You're not welcome here, mate. Get out. Sorry, Kurt. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, but that was probably the last. I deep fried chips and I could really go all of that food right now. I don't even really know what we were talking about. I just want deep fried chips, pizza pockets, spring rolls. But no, and like that was probably the last legit just gaming party I've had. Like I've done like Call of Duty, like when I went through the divorce, whenever that was, 2017, that I played Call of Duty every night for hours, and I had 5-6 mates online to the point where we had a full party, and then we could play duos. There was that many of us, and because obviously a party of 4. Well, that was every night. No matter what, without fail, every single night for nearly 6 months straight, we hit that. But you reckon in that 6 months I saw any of them face to face?
No.
And one of them lives maximum 500 meters away from me.
Yeah.
Like I'm in Burpengary and he's in Burpengary. Like out of them mates, out of them 6, one of them probably lives an hour away. All the rest lived within half an hour drive maximum. Absolute, like, average is around Burpengary and Caboolture, so 15 minutes. But yeah, that was, and I didn't see any of them. I just feel like you've lost that connection. I still play World of Warcraft with, like, one of them I've just had to can his wedding because I'm going overseas. I've known him for 30-ish years, however old you are when you're in preschool. I think 4. So I went to preschool with him. But I feel like if PAX and like EB Games used to have their convention. If that starts to dwindle because of profits, because of the conglomerates all just charging ultimate rent, I feel like that'll be the end of an era. I obviously, as everyone knows, Gamers Down Under, we are heavily invested in indie gamers, Australian gamers, studios. Like Pierce is a local studio. Love supporting him. We've got one guy who's a local music talent. We like to support him. I just feel like if we are still slipping away, and a lot of people like it. But upon saying that, there's been a most recent surge in esports in Brisbane. My Facebook has been getting absolutely bombarded with a lot of esports games, and it's starting to. It's like a double-edged sword. The older guys like myself and yourself are.
Hang on, let's get that straight. I'm young.
Look, when I've got my headset on,
You're
I
older
get
than me.
when I got my headset on, I get a hairline divot. How do you go?
I wish I had one. I haven't had one since I was 18. It's gone. It's gone.
But
Advanced.
no,
Yeah.
like the guys who are in their 30s and the retro gamers, I feel as if it's starting to slip with us. Maybe we're all becoming hermits. Maybe we're just grumpy with the world. I don't know. But then these esports, a lot of them are Fortnite and FIFA and Rocket League, and they're killing it. They're starting, like one I saw. I'd love to. I wish we could. But like their $500 giveaways, like that's what we wanted to get into that market. That was always what Gamers Down Under wanted, was just to bring everyone back together. If anyone's listening to podcasts and they're keen, drop us a line, because I'm keen to, even if we just start a Gamers Down Under esports team. We don't have to be pros, but just as long as once a month we
I'm
can.
always professional, mate. No matter what, I'm always professional.
We can enter into some stuff.
No, that sounds like a good idea. As I said, we're still looking at that as well. So once we find more and see if people are interested, we're happy to go down that way as well. But at the moment, we're still looking.
Love to get it going. But yeah, I'm nervous. Like if they start pulling out of all that kind of stuff, like Nintendo, I know it's hard in Australia, especially flying everyone over here. Like in America, it's very easy. Their expenditure and their overheads, because they're just driving around all around the state, or they're flying around the state. To get here, it's a very expensive trip. So I do understand why Australia sort of gets the raw end of the deal with a lot of stuff, but the gaming industry in Australia is pretty, it's still pretty heavy. Like, I don't understand why we...
I think it really is getting bigger. I really think it is getting bigger, and I don't think it's there now, but it is coming. I reckon there will be a resurge, like definitely with the esports. The esports is getting bigger and bigger, because it is a world stage. And with esports, you can play anywhere.
Especially now that they're really even encouraging it in school. Like,
Yes.
when I was in school, if you done well all week, you got to play Wacky Wheels for half an hour on a Friday afternoon.
Wacky Wheels.
Wacky Wheels that's
a
it.
blast from the past.
Write that down. Wacky Wheels was life. I'm going to play that. That's what we're doing. We're having a LAN party of a Wacky Wheels competition for $500 prize money. You have to
Who's
pay
paying
the
the
prize.
500? Oh yeah, I was waiting for that. I have to pay.
I'll get
I'll
get
just cash
Wacky
out,
Wheels.
mate. Oh, okay. How much is that? Like $2 somewhere?
I don't know. Oh,
Actually, it might be free from the Switch.
no, in my luck, it'll be freaking $501. So you've got the good end of
No,
it.
look, I definitely think that we should probably go down the esports road, or even not like and we're definitely heavily looking into it. So we'll let our listeners know. But anyway, we'll move on. So Mario Maker, you can now finally play with your friends. I think that was the biggest mistake Nintendo did when they rolled it out. You can play it, but you can't play with your friends.
And which is a funny mistake from Nintendo, because they
I've
are
always loved
yeah.
and being in the same room and playing the game. I know.
Yes, like they're not a very like they've even always said about online server. They're just like, yeah, our online servers aren't very good. Go and play
Yeah.
next to your mate. Like we
Yep.
don't. So to turn around and not do it, I reckon something happened there. I reckon it wasn't finished. Something happened because it goes against what it feels like everything Nintendo's about.
Yeah. But
Facebook
no, hang on. I
connectivity.
just remembered something. That was
Wow.
probably the biggest shock for me.
Wow.
I couldn't believe that PS went, Mr. Zuckerberg, bye-bye.
What's the true difference? Like I know I've got my PlayStation linked to Facebook, so when I would start up gaming, it would actually advertise on my Facebook saying Steve has started playing Greedfall, Borderlands, blah blah blah, which I actually didn't like. I disabled that because then people knew exactly when I was gaming. So
That's right. And I have it disabled too because I don't want any record of how much I'm actually gaming. I think
exactly,
we'd
if
be in a
the
lot of
missus
trouble.
missus is at work and she's like, "What'd you get up today?" "Oh, very busy day." "Really? Huh? That's
Yeah.
strange."
It says at 8 hours on Facebook there.
So
Did you go to work? Yes.
yes, I swear.
It's
Meanwhile,
called
yeah,
it's called remote play.
but yeah. So other than that, I haven't seen like because I never use the actual integration with Facebook too much anyway.
The only thing that I reckon will change is you won't be able to find your friends. So, like, you've already got your friends from Facebook when you initially connected it up. So, I think that is all that's going to happen is you won't be able to like instantly share to Facebook your post saying that you're gaming or whatever.
Yes, yes, okay.
And also you won't be able to find new friends that you make on Facebook and add them to your account as friends, whatever. I can't even speak. But you know what I mean. Like, so you can't
Yeah.
add your friends from Facebook to PlayStation. I think the only change really is you're just going to put a post on Facebook going, "Hey guys, my PlayStation thing is this," like what we do in our GamerzDownunder Facebook page and group. "Hey guys,
Yes.
playing PlayStation 4. This is my username. Add me." And that's what
Yeah.
we've all done. We've all put in posts, and then people just add you like that. So I think that's probably the only thing you're going to change. But it was quite surprising that I've stepped away from Facebook. That was the one surprise for me. I didn't see that one coming.
Hmm.
But
Oh.
in saying it as well, the other companies are trying to build their platforms as well. And that goes on to like Fortnite's got its own thing to log in. Steam is a platform, things like that. So I think they're trying to
Like you
move
play
away.
and
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many these days. Like you got Steam, League of Legends has their own, Uplay, which is Ubisoft. I saw even like Epic Store has their own.
Yep.
And I saw one the other day. They must just be literally like a Steam provider because it was like, oh, if you do this, you can get these two games like Crash Bandicoot and something else for $7.95 for a month, and I was like, geez, we've got enough.
Yeah. And that's where, like, I know it's not good to all be in one company and all that, but it's just how many icons can you have? How many username and passwords can you remember? Like, really?
I can
I've
never
got
remember one.
I've got them all in my notes, and I deleted the note by the other day by accident,
Oh,
and didn't just do a little delete. I permanently deleted it. It's gone. So I couldn't even go to the recycling bin and retrieve it. It was gone.
yeah.
So I lost it all. So I hate username passwords. I want my fingerprint or eyeball scanner. I don't care. Get it done. Then I'll have any apps you want.
What was another one? There was, actually, news that came up that I wanted to discuss. Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty, is obviously the remake is coming out. That's big. Gamers-wise, that's massive. That was one of, if not the best, Call of Duty to date. It has the option where if you pre-order it, you get access to the beta. So I wanted to debate about importancy and like, do you play betas, alphas, closed betas? Like even Fortnite I don't even know if they're deemed out of beta yet. That's why they failed at the Games Awards that time because it got voted for Game of the Year and then it got stripped out of the award because it was still deemed a beta.
But that's gone now anyway.
Well, until tomorrow they've reopened.
Yeah, that's it.
So season
But you see all the
11 starts tomorrow.
Yeah. All the little kids running around. Oh, it's finished. It's going. I'm like, hallelujah.
Like I, for one, I used to play a lot of closed betas just because I wanted, like I really enjoyed betas where you got to transfer your experience and your level because then you're
Yeah.
like you're a beast when the game actually started. But
Yeah.
there's been so many games as of late where I'm like, it's not even a beta, it's an alpha at best, and it is so buggy and so flawed. It leaves such a bad taste in your mouth. I don't even get the game when it actually comes out.
No, I personally don't do alphas or betas. I just refuse to play them. I played, I think it was DayZ when it first came out as an alpha, and there was a zombie horde walking towards me. Then they fizzled out and went behind me. Then
Yeah,
then it fizzled back in, and it was all around me. And then the next thing, I was dead, and I'm like, delete.
yeah.
Straight away, I'm like, I'm not playing a game that is not ready. Like, it's really good that they do the alphas and betas if people want to play it to stress test the games and
That's
things
what
like
I was
that.
gonna say. I will back a stress test. I definitely because
I
I
don't want to do
no
it
no
myself.
I hate
Get somebody
having
else to do it.
I hate having games come out where there's no server access. So stress test, yes. Beta, especially having a beta as a reward for pre-order, I just don't know. Like you used to pre-order because you got something. Like I haven't looked at what it actually is involved. Like, do you get more with it? Do you like is it only the beta you get when you pre-order? I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. There was one that Stormbreaker, I think I sent it through you. It's nearly out of its closed beta going to an open beta. It's sort of like Fortnite but with magic. We have talked about it a couple of times periodically over however long we've been talking.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether I want to or can undertake another beta.
No, I won't do it. I'll let everybody else do it. Like the games are buggy enough as it is after being released at the moment that you're just like, you know what? I will not play it until it is better. Like
Yeah.
Link's Awakening, some guy hacked it.
Yeah, to get rid
So
of the blur.
yeah, I'm
Yes.
like, what a I'd pay that guy for the game. Like
But why does
seriously,
it take him to hack it to get rid of the blur? Like
yeah, it
which
could be an option. Put an option in if you want.
which part of the development team turned around and said, "Hey, you know what's going to be a good idea? Let's blur half the screen." Like
Yeah, yeah.
you could,
Enjoy. Thank
yeah.
you. So that was the thing I saw about that. The guy hacked the Link's Awakening, and I thought that was quite cool. Again, we don't condone it, but developers like really should be paying more attention to what the gamers are saying. And I think that causes a lot of issues. I can't speak badly about Evercade. They keep talking to their people that are buying and pre-ordering their stuff. They're actually really active on all their socials as well. So I've actually pre-ordered the Black Edition for Evercade.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
I
that's,
haven't.
that's
I haven't done the step yet. I have thought about it, but yeah.
yeah. Well, I went all in one because I just wanted every game and I didn't want to have to pick which ones I wanted. So comes with like 150 games, all on different cartridges. Don't know how I'm going to sneak that in with the missus.
I reckon you'll be fun.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be in the doghouse when it comes in. I could actually use a gift from a gamer. Sweet. So I don't have to say I bought it. But yeah, no, so I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's March next year that's coming out.
Well, then I won't be getting it.
Why? Where are you going?
I beg your pardon? I'll be going to hibernation. March 2020. Dun dun dun.
What's happening in March 2020? Where am
Oh,
I?
get out of here. Final Fantasy VII
Oh my
Remake.
god. Yeah, wow. Woo! Sign me up. Please don't. Very upset. Moving on. All right. PlayStation 2 VR. Oh,
I
sorry.
I want to
PlayStation
talk.
VR number 2.
I got obviously. Is that actually what it's called? Because I've got the Model 2 of the PlayStation VR.
Yeah, okay. So there's a Model 1, Model 2, and then this is still
Number
in
two.
speculation, but it is the new model coming out for PS5.
Ah,
You're
okay.
going to have. So this is the issue that I was talking to you about getting PS VR. Like I said, try and hold off if you can, but I'm enjoying it. Will I get the next model? Yes, I will, because it's got augmented reality, it's got cameras built in. But you know what? It looks quite similar to the original PSVR. So they kind of keep the same design.
If they offer out a good trade-in price, because let's face it, for the cost that I got mine, or for the price I got mine, at an absolute steal, I will absolutely get it again, because it was so cheap that it's like I got the whole entire kit, camera, move controllers, absolutely everything for $140, was it $100, $140, something like that.
$100 on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace.
So for that sort of price, happy days. And like, truthfully, we haven't really done a proper report on how I'm going. I love it because of the immersion side of things. I don't like the partner tried it with the Crash Bandicoot, struggled badly, gave a very bad vertigo to the point where she felt terribly seasick and had to walk off. She done one race.
A lot of people, or not a lot of people, but there is people that do get that. I don't get any of that.
I don't get that, but my eyes really struggle with it, especially because I'm long-sighted. So I am already supposed to wear glasses when I'm on a computer, but my glasses aren't magnification; they're actually to dull. So when I am sitting there on a computer, it's bad for me to be too close. And then all of a sudden, I've got this headset on, and the screen is only an inch away. So I haven't found my glasses. I don't know where they are. I don't really wear them that often, so I will find them and I'll try it again. Hopefully that takes off that little bit of blur. But truthfully, I was sitting in my lounge room the other day. I set it to large, which is 225-inch screen, and I'm just watching my anime. I'm watching Crunchyroll. I'm like, you know what? Done. Like, I have my big 4K TV in the lounge. Look, I'm going to leave that one. Near Automata has a music concert, orchestra, whatever you want to actually call it, coming to Australia. Very similar to the Final Fantasy Symphony, whatever the hell it's called, that we went to the other month. No one has played Near Automata. I greatly recommend it. The music is, I love Japanese style music is beautiful. Like, there's a cartoon anime that I'm watching at the moment, Demon Slayer, and it is very, very similar with its Japanese style music. Yeah, for some reason I love it. It's just something that really rings home to me, and the same as Final Fantasy music. Like, that type of music over the years have always been something that's awesome. So yeah, Near Automata, guys, jump on. Like, you can get it so cheap these days, and that game itself surprised me. I bought it as just a day one release because I think they had $60 or something like that. I put over 100 hours into it. It was one of the games for a very long time that I actually 100 hours. So yeah,
so that's pretty good. I actually never played any of it, so I don't even know much about that game. So I'll definitely have to have a look into it to see how it goes.
Don't think they've announced actually where the concert is. They just said it was coming to Australia.
Okay,
so I'm waiting to see where they're going to actually hold it. I'd still like to go. Obviously, I'm going to the Final Fantasy one next year, again with Chris in January, I think it is, or February.
Is that the one that's happening in Brisbane?
Yes. Okay, but it's not the same one as last time. It is the smaller one.
Oh, it's not Distance. Okay, so it's not Distance Worlds. It's another one. Okay, cool.
A new world. That's
all right. Yeah.
Last thing I wanted to talk about in the news before Retro Minute was, I know you like it, and I absolutely don't. I hate it to the point where I hate it until it actually works, and then I might accept it. Google Stadia.
You know what? It has given me a little bit more faith, but I don't like that a game can predict what I'm going to do next.
All games do.
No, they don't. If I want to make Link jump off a cliff, I jump off a cliff.
All online games do already take into account what you're doing, and that's why on your screen you think you're running straight and you get shot and you weren't running straight, or someone else was running there. Like, it's because it is designed that way to try to eliminate the difference in lag, from my understanding. So Online games already do it to a certain degree, especially shooters. So it's not new what Google Stadia is trying. I just, like, you think about Call of Duty, the amount of times you've unloaded a clip on someone and they kill you and you're like, what the beep? And then you...
That was close. I like it.
And then you watch the replay, the kill cam, and meanwhile it's pretty close to not what you saw. You're like, no way, he was over there. I'm telling you, he was. That's the difference in the lag. That's the computer software hasn't caught up. So, but that whole game is installed on your console already. So all you're doing is physically streaming the input output onto the server.
Yeah, the image and sounds. Yeah.
Yeah. Stadia wants to do everything. So all of a sudden you've got this 200 gig game and everything else. Yeah, I'll be very interested to see if it works. Normal games, I back Stadia will work because it'll probably preload to a certain degree, very similar to Netflix, the way they've got Netflix coded. It doesn't actually use too much bandwidth. So then...
But does that mean, like me with ADSL 1, that I could potentially play Stadia and stream maybe Stadia?
Definitely not stream. Play, not stream.
Okay, why couldn't I stream if it's going off a server, not my actual internet connection?
Because of your upload.
All I'm getting is an image.
Your upload.
Yeah, but I think...
From my...
Don't quote me, but I thought for Stadia you could actually stream from Stadia to wherever you want, so it's actually not affecting my internet at all. So I could have dial-up connection, and then I could actually still...
I thought that was for you to play, but because you're playing from their server. All you're doing, they're running the whole entire game. All you are doing is downloading the image. But for streaming, I thought you were still having to upload from where you are. But I haven't looked into Stadia enough with their streaming side of things, how to do it. I just, with their gaming side of things is a bit different. And that's why, like, you might say, I'm going to play Final Fantasy VII. You push play, walk off for half an hour, come back, and it's preloaded enough of the game to stay in front of you.
Okay, so I have to walk off for 6 days and then come back and go, woo, I can play the first level.
Can you watch Netflix?
Sometimes.
What if you just pause it for 5 minutes, come back? Can you watch the whole episode?
Yeah.
And that's what it will be. For limited cases like you, truthfully, I believe, like, unless it's running in complete and utter live time, like a Chromecast kind of concept where nothing is loaded on, then you're in for a bad time. But if some gets loaded on, then I think it'll be okay. But
so it definitely sounds interesting though, and I know you were really against it at this. So I'm still against it. I'm still with it. That's why we're friends.
In nearly any country, I probably would back Stadia. I backed Square Enix when they tried the concept years ago. They realized pretty much everywhere other than Japan was not ready yet, so they abandoned the idea. And now Stadia is trying it nearly 10 years or 5 years later. So I'll be surprised. Then again, Australia's ranked nearly the worst in the world for their internet speed. So for me to say it won't work is very rich because we are deemed one of the worst. Like, it'll work in most first world countries, even third world. I was in Thailand for a couple of months and their internet was better than ours.
All right.
That's the news. Retro Minute. I want to talk quickly. Breathfire. I played it. Breathfire is brilliant. Ryu all the way. He's part of the Dragon Clan. All right, go.
What? Who is he? What is he? What? Dragon what?
He's part of the Dragon Clan. He's one of the last of the Dragon Clan. And he's
I've never played it.
1 and 2 all-time legendary games. 3 also good. 4 not so much. 5 terrible. 6 is a mobile. I think 5 is 6 is a mobile game.
Beautiful. Pay and play.
It was never released to the West. It was that bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, Capcom have copped a lot of slack for it over the years because it had a cult following. Like, it was a Final Fantasy kind of battler. Like, it was sort of like a I don't want to say an indie version, but it was Capcom's version of Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest. Like, if you type in best RPGs of all time, Breath of Fire pops up. It's sort of like, it was very similar to Chrono Trigger and stuff like that. But then, yeah, number 3 was out on PSP, I think it was. I loved it, but I was a very, very dedicated player. So number 3, a lot of people, from what I've read, still love it. Like, we've all been demanding that it should get re-released. Number 1, 2, 3 is brilliant, but yeah, I don't know. I wish they would do a number 7 and just bring like Dragon Quest and everyone. I understand why Capcom went the mobile way, because with that sort of game, they thought they could break into the mobile market, capitalize all the money, and off they go. But no, I think the number 7, if they ever do it, which I reckon they will, because they are starting to, like, you look at the Devil May Cry, the whatever, they've got like a Resident Evil, I think was another one. Like, they're all starting to come back out of the woodworks and people are loving them. So yeah, I'd be surprised if they don't ever do it. But if they done it like a Dragon Quest 11 or something, even on the Switch, they have to have, like, I've bought Breath of Fire 1 on the Switch. As soon as Breath of Fire 2 comes up, I'll be buying that. It's guaranteed as well. Yeah, that's my Retro Minute game of the week. So, Prototype. You want to talk about Prototype?
So this guy in America we did a post on our page about this Prototype console. So it was the original Prototype console for the Nintendo and Sony that they were making. They ended up abandoning to go their separate ways. But the guy was taking it around to conventions around America. He says he's never made a cent on it. I don't know if that's true or not, because I'd definitely pay to see it. As he recently put out a tweet on Twitter saying that he's looking to sell the console. So I'm going to definitely keep watching it just to see if we can find out how much it goes for. Like, how much would you pay for a Prototype console that hasn't come out? Like, because how many in the world is there? I don't even know how many there is. I'd have to probably look it up to see how many were released. But
I don't think there was many that were released to the public. There was developer ones that were released, and that's what keeps the price down. But, if you get an avid collector, it's sort of like the Pokemon original 151 cards like that. I think one sold, a perfect PSA 9-10 kit sold for 100,000 the other day.
Yeah.
Just because avid collector, like, you can have something for sale. And that's the funny thing, like, a lot of people are like, it's going for $1,000 on eBay. I always
Has it sold for 1,000?
That's what I question. I'm like, no. Yeah. Has it sold for 1,000? If there's a history of something selling for 1,000, then yes, it's worth $1,000. If it's only for sale for 1,000, because that's what people used to do, they'd make mock eBay accounts, put something up for $1,000, sell something for 600. People would think it was a bargain, buy it, and all the others would drop.
Yeah, that's it.
But
so the guy selling it, his name's Cedric Biscay. So you can follow him on Twitter at Cedric Biscay. So CEDRIC BISCAY. So he's the one that's trying to sell the console. There's a couple of photos on our Facebook page and also our website with the article about him trying to sell it with the Twitter tweets. So, look, I'd personally love to have it myself. I reckon it should be in a museum or something where people can actually go to see.
Yes.
Because it wasn't released. It looks like it's got the Super Nintendo ports for the front, but it's got a Sony written on the top, and it says PlayStation.
Well, that was before Sony sold it, like, to PlayStation to make their own. So obviously, from memory, Sony...
It's got PlayStation on it as well.
Sony was in partnership with Nintendo, and then they split and they created PlayStation. Sony PlayStation. So yeah. Oh well, wait and see.
I don't even know if there was any games made for this console either. So that, if any of the listeners know any games made for it, just send us a link on.
All right, guys.
So, I think that's it as well. So, thank you for listening to the podcast. Ensure you check out GamerzDownunder.com for all your gaming news and games reviews and relevant topics for the Aussie gamers. If you want to join in the conversation, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. by searching Gamers Down Under, and that's Gamers with a Z, so Gamerz. Finally, make sure you smash that subscribe button and send it to other gamers out in Australia. And remember, it'll never be game over.
And a gamer's got a game.